Trump says U.S. is trying to get Bagram back in Afghanistan. At an afternoon press conference, President Trump said the United States is trying to reclaim Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan, the sprawling base vacated during the 2021 withdrawal. He argued that Bagram has strategic value, not just for counterterrorism but for its geography, near China's sensitive facilities, though he didn't detail negotiations with the Taliban or how such a move would align with broader U.S. policy. The comment re-centered attention on post-withdrawal basing, regional deterrence, and the complicated security politics of Central and South Asia. Bagram, built in the 1950s and massively expanded after 9/11, once hosted tens of thousands of U.S. and allied personnel. It became shorthand for air mobility, ISR, and detention operations, and a symbol of America's two-decade presence. It was shuttered during the withdrawal sequence begun after the 2020 Doha Agreement, which set the timeline for a U.S. exit. Trump today criticized President Biden's execution of the withdrawal, even as historians note the timetable originated under the Trump administration. Re-entering Bagram would demand a new bargain with the Taliban or a different Afghan interlocutor, plus congressional support, NATO consultation, and serious force protection planning. It would also signal a major pivot in U.S. basing posture, raising questions about overflight rights, host nation consent, and mission scope, counterterrorism, ISR, China-adjacent monitoring. With U.S. forces currently relying on over-the-horizon methods, a permanent base would mark a return to a footprint in a region where American public tolerance is limited. Is reclaiming Bagram practical? The reporter asked, inquisitively. It's theoretically possible, but politically thorny, the planner responded thoughtfully. You need Taliban assent or leverage. You need regional buy-in, and you must define mission limits. An open-ended garrison would face domestic skepticism at home. The reporter asked, curious, whether it would shift China's strategy. The scholar replied, analytically, that it might offer ISR proximity to Western China, but escalation dynamics matter. Beijing would see it as a signal, potentially prompting counter-moves. The U.S. already has alternative basing and allied options. What are families thinking hearing this? The reporter asked, her voice filled with compassion. The advocate responded, concern evident in their tone. Mixed feelings. Some see unfinished missions. Others fear a cycle repeating. Clarity on objectives, not optics, should lead any decision. Any state or DoD clarification on talks with the Taliban, with regional reactions from Pakistan,